If you live in the USA, today is Turkey Day. No, not that turkey. This kind of turkey.
It's okay, you don't know him. You don't know him.
Yes, Thanksgiving. The holiday that Americans celebrate to show thanks, I guess. And turkeys and Native Americans are somehow involved. I'm not really sure, I never got it. Anyways, what better way to celebrate Thanksgiving than sharing my USA multiplayer campaign in Europa Universalis 4? Wait, Absolute Habibi USA and EU4 Multiplayer? That sounds familiar. Yes, we're officially part of my YouTube career where I just recycle ideas. Are you ready for Habibi's Daycare number 2? These guys, I need the views really badly. Just like last time, we'll be playing Norway as we exodus our way to the USA. Then find our challenges fighting against colonizers until we bring back the fight to Europe. The main reason why I wanted to redo this campaign was because in the Lions of the North DLC, Norway gets a completely new mission tree, with half of it being dedicated for colonizing the new world. How will this campaign end up going for us? Will we end up being a second-rate power like we were in our last time we played USA? Or have I really improved in my EU4 skills in the last 2 years since I last did this? Find out in this video, where I play Norway into USA! Oh man, I can't believe I'm doing this. But now I have a strategy that actually will make us pretty strong pretty fast. The question is, how much are we going to get done in the first session? Hopefully a lot. We're basically going to use this new Norway missions to go push to the new world. As you can see right here, we get if we get 8 light ships, which we're going to actually start building towards right now. We already have 4. We're going to get a free explorer and Navy tradition, and then if we get this right here, Call of Our Forefathers, so we can actually go expansion ideas, not exploration ideas, what the plan is. We can also get Marines, sailor recovery speed. Then if we have a flagship and a bunch of light ships, we can get a discounted advisor, 75% discounted advisor. Who were the players near us? Well, there was Sweden. There was no Denmark player, but Sweden was already very okay with us leaving Norway. Of course he was, because he was just going to get it for free without doing a player war. But the main problem, the main challenge that we're going to have is actually going to come from colonizers. England, Portugal, Spain. Since we are doing an exodus where we're leaving our homeland to go to the new world to make it our new home, our challenges are going to come from the people that want the new world as well. Like the Swedish mission tree that we covered on my channel when this DLC first came out, our first part of our mission tree is focused on getting our independence. Of course, since there was a Sweden player, it's very easy to get him on our side and do our independence. However, I really wanted to be the one that declared the war because I want to get war reps. You see, colonizing is a very expensive venture. And with our really crappy economy, we would essentially be in the negative until we establish ourselves in the new world, which could be a while. My plan was to get our independence, then go expansion ideas, start colonizing the new world, rush towards the gold mines of Mexico, use the gold in Mexico to fund our early game expansion in wars, and use that to establish ourselves in the new world. And of course, it was very important that we see what the other colonizers wanted to do. I'm gonna talk to the England player again.
Reiterate,
what's up?
Otherwise it would be broken.
What's up, guys?
Oh.
What's your plan this game on England?
I'm not sure if Portugal is watching stream, so I don't want to really talk about it. But I have some funny stuff planned. Yes.
Okay. If it's funny, I approve. This is a funny game.
Even if it's watching stream, I just don't care. So Morocco's gonna sell me a province so I can reach Mexico as soon as humanly possible.
Just let me have the north, so I can form Texas.
You can have it temporarily.
And just like that, we knew England's plan. And it just so happened that it kinda contradicted with our plan, and we didn't even have to pry for it. And even though England was fine with giving us North Mexico temporarily to form Texas, I really needed those gold mines to help us accelerate in our growth and expansion early on. So I messaged Morocco, threatening him that if he sells a province to England, I will join with Spain against him, bringing down my navy and my troops. You might be wondering, what do you even do in this time period before we start our colonization? Well, we could just sit AFK and maybe watch videos and play different small games. We instead tried to min-max as much as possible. We were doing show strengths on rivals that we could do, AI rivals, and we were also deving in certain key points so we can get a little bit of money. Doesn't really make much sense since we're exodusing, but we need to get that initial boost or we were going to lose a lot more money. Remember, we're going to have 3 colonists very early on due to the one in the Norwegian seas. God, we can click this and this is the entire game we will have this. Mountain exploration. This is the entire game. We get dev cost on highlands, mountains, and hills. The entire game, which is amazing. Meanwhile, me struggling to kill this one rebel stack. Great.
You'll get it one day.
Gameplay. Our gameplay really started to pick up once we got our 3rd idea and expansion, because that unlocked our first Norwegian idea, which gives us more colonial range, but more importantly gives us access to conquistadors and explorers without exploration ideas, which meant we can now colonize Newfoundland, and we went straight for this. And even though colonizing this province will decrease the price of fish globally in the entire game, I didn't care. I wanted these provinces so I could state them and get the goods produced bonuses immediately to boost our economy while we venture to Mexico. With the 6th idea of expansion, we were now colonizing 3 provinces at the same time. This was super expensive for us, and we ended up resorting to begging, which no one ended up giving us money, so we did that for no reason. With our first colony done in the New World, we were getting closer and closer to Mexico. Thanks to our mission tree though, we were able to get a CB on a bunch of the natives that were on the East Coast and began expanding through war. And it was here that I found out that dealing with natives has become a very painful thing. Oh my god, dude. Why are natives so crazy in this patch? Every war that we fought in North America, we would have to fight multiple tribes just for one province, due to them being allied and being in federation. Since there's no auto-capitulate when we get the main war goal, we had to go around sniping armies of natives while also sieging down them so we can piece them out, which was absolute pain. This also meant that through conquering, we would have to deal with a lot of wrong cultures, since we would be conquering all of these new native provinces and native nations. We're now also so close from reaching Mexico proper, but unable to colonize near the mainland, so we started in Cuba. However, it was in this exact time that England began doing his conquests in the southern part of Mexico. But after conquering some tribes in the north, we were able to get some CBs through our mission tree on the Mexico provinces. So right around the same time England was conquering South Mexico, I was conquering North Mexico. And you might be thinking, why doesn't England just attack you? Well, that is because as an Exodus nation, we are protected until 1521, meaning we have this grace period until other players are able to fight us. We've made it. We've made it. Successfully made it to the richest part of Mexico before Great Britain. A great task considering our starting position. But if you noticed, I was taking a lot of land. Aren't I gonna form colonial nations? Was I going to release and play as a colonial nation as other players have done in the past with Exodus? Well, no. I was going to use a mechanic that a lot of EU4 players don't know even exists. If you form a new world nation like Texas, Vermont, USA, etc., you will inherit all of your colonial nations if you have colonial nations. So in this case, we didn't form a colonial Canada since we only colonized 3 provinces. We need at least 5 to form a colonial nation. So we state those 3 provinces, specifically the goods produced provinces, to increase our money. We then form a colonial nation in North America, 2. We're gonna form Louisiana and 13 colonies area. and we're also going to form a colonial nation in Cuba. We then choose the colonial option that gives them a colonist without having any ideas for it. And if they have enough money, the AIs will now start colonizing for us, all of our AI colonies. We also got 5 counting houses from our mission tree randomly in the New World. And since we want to form Texas before we form the USA, we did not form a colony in the Texas/Mexico region. We instead only cored 4 provinces, stopping us from forming the colonial nation, sitting on about 20 to 30% overextension. Now we just needed to move our capital to the New World. So we made Iceland a vassal. We're now selling land to Sweden. You're gonna I'll tell you when to deck for the rest. Quick maths, 12%, 18%, 4. Okay, yeah, now deck for the rest. Boom, boom, boom. Capital now is in Canada. We are gonna have to spend the admin to move it to here. But our capital's in the New World. It does mean also we can core all of this. We were getting closer and closer to the end of our grace period. We needed Tech 10 to form Texas, but we used it this time wisely by conquering the natives and feeding them to our colonies. By doing this, we bypassed the admin cost of conquering our initial land by putting it on our colonies who are going to inherit anyway, so it doesn't matter if they fall behind in admin tech or don't get admin ideas. And since we had 3 colonies to spread the land amongst, we were able to nicely expand without overstraining or completely overextending. And then to keep our liberty desire on our colonies low, we would eat the land for ourselves since our capital was in the same continent, and then manually feed it to our colony, decreasing liberty desire. While we were doing this though, England continued his conquest of Mexico, conquering the rest of it while I had a bunch of the gold mines, making one of the ugliest borders that I've seen in a multiplayer campaign. And once we reached Tech 10 admin, it was time to form Texas. We can form Texas. America. The only thing to form USA is just I need to move my capital to right here, around this area. You move your capital to right here, you can form USA anywhere on the East Coast actually. Down in Ohio. But forming Texas is literally your capital has to be here. We're just waiting of coring of colonies. Yeah, Louisiana's done. Norway is almost done. Anyways, let's form Texas nation. Let's do it, Texas. And this is gonna be, look at this. So you see how we have New Norway, we have Cuba, we have Norwegian. Well, check this out. When you form Texas, they just get all integrated. So now they're just all integrated, and we're now 994 dev, the second highest dev nation in the game.
This is disgusting.
We can now increase our rank. We are now the Empire of Texas.
What if Texas became a single independent country?
Now with our new nation formed, we had a decision to make on religion. For mainly LARP reasons, I actually really wanted to go the Norse faith. However, the only way that I could go the Norse faith in a vanilla EU4 game without changing the save file was either to do a very RNG based event, which requires us to have a 555, a scholar or a sinner, and have a province that Sweden owns with a mean time to happen of 100 years. Or our other option was to get a pagan faith province in our mainland, and then they would convert to Norse faith rebels, which not really sure how you would get a pagan faith province in Norway before you move to the New World. If you have an idea, let me know in the comments below. So the Norse faith was actually out of the question in this multiplayer campaign, which was very sad. Now, we could have stayed Catholic or even converted to Protestant at this point of the game, since we were now in the Age of Reformation. However, I went for a third unseed option, Totemist. So why Totemist? Well, for the first part, most of our provinces are already Totemist. Due to the way that natives expand in vanilla EU4, there's a lot of provinces that we conquered that are just straight up Totemist. It means that all we had to do was let them siege our capital and just wait until they forced their demands. The next reason is actually the Totemist faith is pretty good. Due to the ancestor mechanic of Totemist religion, you can get permanent bonuses depending on the first trait that any of your previous rulers had. That means that if we get a ruler that gets the strict, which is 5% discipline, we can get a permanent 5% discipline bonus. And this goes for any bonus that any of our leaders get. There is an RNG aspect to this faith. However, if you get lucky, you can get all of the OP bonuses. And plus, this was played on the previous patch of 1.34 before it got patched, where you can get the same bonus multiple times. That means if you get Inspiring Leader 3 times, you get plus 15 morale from your faith. If you get Strict twice, that's plus 10 discipline. Overall though, cool faith that we rarely see. You might be thinking, why don't you colonize by what's highest dev, Habibi? Well, no, I'm just colonizing for the nicer borders right now. We were close to being number 1 GP. However, we actually weren't even that strong. The first problem was that we inherited a lot of land, but no buildings. The AI generally doesn't really build buildings, especially if it's spending its money on stuff like colonizing. And that was a problem for us since we just needed to build a lot of buildings, like sit down and build a lot of buildings. The second problem was a cultural issue. A lot of the land we got was the wrong culture. Now we were able to accept some of the bigger ones, but since there's so many native cultures in North America, we can't accept all of them. So we needed to culture convert. Building issue we were able to solve since we were menacing enough that no one attacked us and we were able to build, while the cultural issue needed to take some time since we still were dealing with a lot of separatism in our provinces. But by 1557, we were able to hit a nice eco of 179 ducats a month. This is the strict, I feel it. He's 6 mil, he's a good general. No! The year was 1566 and we had yet to fight a player war. We still had access to the Norwegian mission tree, so we were out here doing all these little missions for sailors and different bonuses that we can get as Norway that weren't really going to impact us that much as Texas. Europe, on the other hand, was in a state of constant warfare, and our peace only lasted until Spain attacked us. I actually lost the footage of this war, but here is a paint rendition of it. Here we have North America. This red is me. This is Great Britain. This is Spain. Spain attacked me. I saw his troops collecting here, so I was able to get 100,000 troops right here. Spain had 150,000 troops. I built some mercs. We fought here. Spain then blockaded me, so I couldn't support my troops on Cuba. And then Spain overran me. Then he only had 20% war score because vanilla war score. But then he told me that Great Britain was about to declare war on me and that all he wanted was this part of Cuba. So I gave it to him. Sure enough, shortly after, Great Britain attacked us. We were still in recovery from our last war, but that didn't stop us and I did not want to lose Mexico. Actually, it would have been better if we conquered Mexico here. It was all up to my quality and my troop count to carry the war. And with the British army trapped in the southern side of Mexico, Great Britain told us to send a peace deal, which Great Britain accepted, but then he immediately truce broke us, causing us to be in a lot of overextension for this next side of the war. However, I got lucky. France noticed that Great Britain's entire army and navy were in the New World, and he threatened to join on my side if Great Britain didn't give me war reparations. And while we were winning the battles, Great Britain accepted the deal.
That's it!
That's what? Patrick, what are you doing?
I'm going to duplicate my actions from that day to ascertain the origin of my
Patrick!
We also made a deal to purchase the rest of Great Britain's Mexico later on in the game. But after 3 hard-fought wars, Texas was in turmoil. We had accumulated an insane amount of debt, and we had drained all of our manpower reserves. We had accumulated close to 20k ducats of debt, which maybe I could have paid off without bankrupting, but since we had that truce with Great Britain and Spain was preoccupied fighting Songhai, this would have been the perfect time for us to just bankrupt and get the debt out of the way, leaving our country devastated, but we were in recovery, making decent money and building manufactories. Like, the next part of our micro, we have to be really, like with deving, we have to be really intensive with the yellow stuff. This is what our menus look like. We could be even richer if we start microing the provinces better. And since most of our separatism was gone by this point, it was also time to start culture converting. Looking at our culture map, all of the red were unaccepted cultures, while all the oranges were provinces that we were currently culture converting. So cursed, the cultures. It's a little less cursed. Little. Now, is it worth culture converting? Yes it is. Even in vanilla, it's worth culture converting, especially these provinces that are all very low dev, that only cost between 10 to 20 dip to culture convert. The reason why is because wrong culture group that's not our culture group, which they're not, will give minus 33 tax, minus 33 local manpower, and plus 2 local unrest. Add on top of that religious cultures, which gives 10% manpower and 10% production efficiency and 10% tax efficiency for right culture, right religion provinces. That is 43% manpower that we're not getting from wrong culture. Definitely worth culture converting. And now we had basically completed all of the Norwegian missions that we could do. It was time to move our capital to a new location and form the United States of America.
Hello, America.
We kept our Texan ideas though. By the way, White House Monument, amazing in multiplayer. But yeah, now that we no longer had the Norwegian mission tree, we now had a generic mission tree with a little bit of American missions. But hey, I actually don't have a problem with the generic mission tree. Just from this, we were able to get a bunch of money, discounted buildings, building construction time, and we were able to use that to build up the White House, just like the real America. God bless America. Wait, in this case, it would be ancestors bless America? Or animal totem bless America? I'm not really sure how totemism works, guys, I'll be honest. There's also the Mese Verde monument that gives idea cost and technology cost reduction that we have access to due to being totemist. Another really nice bonus. And we did a really good job on culture converting, almost finishing it all. Then our only ally, France, got attacked by both the Ottomans and Prussia. So I decided to send some troops to help him out, so you wouldn't be alone. But when I noticed that we lost almost all of our men on the transit over, I knew this was going to end in disaster. Well, for us at least. We spent so much manpower on just transiting our troops, but France was carrying himself in the war, so I sent Ottomans a peace deal giving me 10,000 ducats, which I did not expect him to accept, but he did.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. So Spain and Portugal, after being bullied in the old world, both migrated to the new world. Usually this wouldn't be allowed, but I don't really give a this is blah 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 blah. Anyways, we are still the monster in the new world, you know. We just casually joined on Ottomans war over there. It's kind of crazy that Ottomans are this much dev though, and France were doing really good alone. Don't forget about the culture map mode. This is the part of the game where we popped our golden era. We were now doing conquest while also building universities in every single province while deving a lot. You can use your golden era to dev a lot, and now is a good time. Finally, we can dev a lot and become even stronger. As a matter of fact, the reason why we had fell so behind from the top 3 GPs is because we weren't developing as much as the other nations. And that's because I had to go expansion and quality and all of these other ideas before I could get economic ideas. And for that reason, there was nations like Malaya who had 3 times my dev click count. But now it was time to catch up by building universities everywhere, popping golden era, getting all level 5 advisors, and in 1697 we had finished culture converting almost all of our provinces in North America at least. With a small time skip, here we are in 1742. So much developing and building up done to reach this part of the game, which is kind of the thing with New World gaming, okay? The New World is actually very, very powerful. If you are able to sit back, develop, and build all your manufactories in your land, you will become rich, powerful, and strong. But the problem is, you get so lonely. If there's not people contesting you in the New World, you end up just doing nothing, which is what I was doing for basically 50 years of the game, just playing single player AFK buildup, which is actually the reason why I previously had said that I don't want to do Exodus again. After you experience playing in the HRE or playing Poland where you're in constant war, fighting for your life, fighting against multiple players, multiple player wars each session, it's kind of really boring going back and playing something like this. I feel like also while we're playing more and more, the appeal of being goofy and doing goofy Diplo just kind of goes away. So you end up just playing like this. Makes me kind of wish that I never learned EU4 Multiplayer, so I could relearn it all over again and experience those goofy moments all over again. No matter how many lobbies I join, I feel like I could never recreate that original USA campaign that I did 2 years ago. It will just be a memory that I will cherish. The world. 1743 vanilla game. Huge Malaya. Number 1 grand power Malaya. Then it's us. The New World. Then it's France. Then it's Ottomans. Then it's Punjab. Then it's Siam. Then it's Korea. Then it's Shing. Enough of the sad tone though. We have a campaign to finish and we're going to finish it strong. First thing we do is attack Venezuela, who's being guaranteed and protected by Brazil. Occupying Venezuela was the easy part. It wasn't until we reached Brazil that we started seeing some resistance from the Brazilians. In the Amazon corridors of Brazil, we fought them tooth and nail. Although our quality was nearly dissimilar, we had so many more troops. With the Brazilian army routed, they surrendered before we could reach Rio de Janeiro. We had continued our expansion into South America, but by no means have we taken anything or even hurt the Brazilians through this war. But now it was time to let my cat play for me.
Here a little bit in your note.
You know how to play this game? You play now. With basically 2 continents dominated by us, what is there left to do? Well, of course, it's time to go reclaim our homeland back in Norway. Well, that was easy. There's only like AIs left up here. I think our next goal is to get a border with Ottomans and then do just a huge war against Ottomans, 1 versus 1. This is also the time that we took the military hegemon, proclaiming it for us, the United States of America. Meanwhile, around the world, players were discovering a very weird meta, a late game meta. Now, I'm not sure who discovered this first, but the person who I figured this out from is called Bertus Videos. You can see his Twitch channel here. He was the Swiss player in this campaign, and as you can see from these clips, he's getting insane stack wipes. How? Well, basically, in the new way combat works, if you have a 2-to-1 combat advantage in the late game in terms of numbers, and you roll really good twice in a row, while they roll bad twice in a row, you will just stack wipe. You will just automatically stack wipe, not considering their reserves or their morale. Crazy, right? Well, I had to try this out for myself. So you know all those late game war mechanics like cutting off reinforcements, multiple engagements, and perfectly reinforcing? Throw that all out the window. We're just gonna make as big as possible of a stack, and that's it. We declared war on the Ottomans knowing that Brazil was going to help him, but seeing that I had 1 million plus troops in Europe and 600,000 troops in Mexico, I really didn't mind. I thought I would catch the Ottomans off guard with this huge stack, but it seemed like he got the memo, and he also stacked all of his troops onto this singular battle. Meaning, no stack wipe in this one, and we actually lost it. And he went with smaller stacks, which led to us stack wiping his army. Back in Brazil, we were also stack wiping armies. I danced around with the stack a bit, trying to find the perfect angle, until finally I found it. Morale. This could be our chance.
So now I can retreat properly.
Game is so laggy, dude. Oh! Oh! I just stack wiped 500k! What is this? That's half his army! Oh my god, another stack wipe! Why are you running? Just wipe them, lol. What do you mean reinforced battles? Just wipe them, dude. Why does it happen? There's the new like stack wipe formula is all messed up, I think.
Join the battle, come on.
But you have to have double the amount of troops. And if you do and they break on the front line, like you get a really good roll and you have double the troops. It doesn't matter how much morale it has, how much reinforcements have. If you break their front line, it shatters so quickly in the stage of the game and it ends the battle. And immediately stack wipes. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Make it on time. Make it on time. We can stack wipe. No.
I don't know how
we can get really lucky and stack wipe before he reinforces. Come on. One lucky roll. One lucky roll. Oh, yes! Yes! Another 200k stack wipe. All right. Wait for the next one. Wait for the next one. That's it. Another. More. That's an entire Brazilian army gone. That's an entire Brazilian army gone, chat. Just go. He's still at full morale. With both the Brazil and Ottoman armies decimated, I made a deal with the Ottomans. We'll do one final battle on Constantinople, and the loser of the battle has to unconditionally surrender to the other person. 100k dies a month, dude.
Never surrender.
Here we go. I think I got it now. 400k more troops. 1.4 million. All in one battle. He has new cannons. Looking at the battle lags of the game. I have 2 more morale than him. We might actually sack wipe. If we sack wipe this entire million troops, I think it's just over for him. What's going on in Brazil?
I want to wait.
Surrender! The Ottomans on conditions!
No, the Ottomans are They're lost.
Oh, we can.
That's not me. That's not me. I found out about this shit.
This meta sucks, dude.
Suck the ass, man. Like, this is
I tested it against Cyborg. I stacked like 3 of his 200k stacks and he built that.
Shit. Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
And just like that, we end the campaign. #1 great power. Doesn't feel like I was #1 great power, but I was. And I had the biggest army in the game too, so if people wanted to take it from me, they could have tried. But overall, a fun campaign. There were a lot of really boring moments, a lot of build-up, and it made me realize that right now in my player development and my play style, I really like playing in the high-octane, high-action areas like the Holy Roman Empire. That is the most high-octane area. But we ended the game, largest army, most provinces, highest dev, peak performance right there. But hey, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. That was our campaign. I really had a good time. Thank you for everyone that played in it. Thank you for watching all the way through 38 minutes in. Please like this video, subscribe, help me out, help me reach 50,000 subscribers, and share this video if you really enjoyed it. Share it with your friends, share it with your non-EU4 friends. Maybe they'll like it, and let me know how they respond. Anyways, that's it for me, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a happy Thanksgiving for all the American fans out there, and for everyone else, happy Thursday, I guess.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.